Tottenham till I die, Spurs die hard. Tottenham till I die. Tottenham till I die. Tottenham till I die. Spurs die hard. Tottenham till I die. Tottenham till I die, Spurs die hard. Tottenham till I die.
Hello and welcome to the regular Sunday edition of Spurs Diehards TTID. Tonight I've got a great panel for you. We've got a few debutants and regular friends of the show as well, and Rain's back, who's a regular Sunday guest anyway. Right, so I'm not going to give you a long-winded intro because that's not me, because these guys need to have their say. So we'll get straight into it, and we're obviously going to start with the Brentford 3-0. But first, I'll introduce our guests. Start with Anthony, bottom left. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. So I'm late, mate. I hope I see you were waiting for me, mate. Sorry about that.
No excuse. Your tardiness is no excuse. Okay, all right, we'll move on. Andrew, another debutant. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you very much. All things considered, with the mess from yesterday, just hopefully we can kick on and improve from there. But yeah, doing well. Thank you very much for having me on.
And Dave, how are you?
Yeah, good. Thank you very much, Adrian. Thank you for the opportunity. Much appreciated. Always a pleasure. So yeah, let's dive into it, as they say. Do you know what I mean?
And Si, who's a regular friend of the show. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks, Adrian. Chilling. Looking forward to finally talking about our first Premier League game of the season with the guys. So yeah, looking forward to it, to open a can of worms about yesterday, to be fair.
And Rain, a regular Sunday contributor. How are you?
I'm all right. It's been a tough weekend, football wise. But ready to have a good chin, mate.
Yeah, I'm sure it's very disappointing to lose your first game, gut wrenching for a lot of fans. But I mean, this is where patience comes into it with this team, anyway. But we'll go to the team. I'm gonna start with you, Rain, and then work across the side and then down to the debutants. Yeah, this was the team. Now it's clever to be in hindsight, but what did you think when you first saw the team?
I wasn't surprised. It was the team that we were expecting, I think. Team we were all talking about. Actually, if you look at the bench, at the moment he hasn't actually got that many options. Realistically, for one reason or another. So it's what was expected. There's lots of problems with this team, obviously, and I won't. All I'm going to say is what we were expecting, and I'll let everybody else. There's plenty of other people on the panel to pick apart the various aspects. We could each choose one particular thing, and we would still have some stuff to spare to be going on with. So yeah, as expected. We need more bodies. We need more bodies in this squad to make picking the team harder.
Si, your take on the team when you saw it? I think we all expected more, but we'll get into that.
Yeah, Adrian, I agree to an extent with Ryan. It was sort of the team that was expecting, and I saw some sort of, if you want, rumours of what the team could be like 24 hours before, and that was spot on. To me, from the pre-season, Burval played well with Tonali, so I thought that to me was understandable straight away. For me, I was worried about the defence when I saw the lineup. I mean, all basically because we had 3 players playing their first competitive game for Tottenham in that back 4, and then we got a young lad, captain of the side, playing right back. So I thought, we needed to be up at it, but as we'll discuss later, we obviously went up for it that much, and I mean, it took its toll on that defence because of that, I think, really.
Dave, I mean, these were the substitutes. You can comment on the team selection as well, but not a bad bench, really. I mean, there's experience there with one youth player.
Yeah, agreed. There's a lot at bench. You see it straight away. It was stronger than last season's, so that's progress in itself. And it's with the further additions to the squad, it's only going to get better once more players come back. But as do you know what I mean? As the starting line went, I said in one of the group chats, I said I've got this not horrible for. I said I've got this feeling he's going to go with Bergvall. He's going to go with Bergvall, and he's going to play him in that double pivot. And me and you both know exactly how we feel about Bergvall and a double pivot. We'll go on to that. We'll go on to that shortly. But Archie Gray, I just thought it was a mess. I thought the squad was a mess. But poor De Zerbi ain't got much choice. Really stuck with this until we get these players back match fit and ready. So he's kind of stuck at the moment. But the front line is going to look a lot different against Newcastle this week, next week, than it did this week. That's all
I think it'll look different against Charlton on Wednesday. I'm going to the game. Andrew, so your take on this? I mean, it's easy to be a hindsight critic after a game and sort of say, "Oh, the team was poor." But,
yeah, for me, I just it comes down to a number of things. The way I see it first is basically I would have rather have had a signing in to be able to take the right back position, which is currently unavailable because of Porro's injury. But that's obviously not on the manager. He could only do with what he had, and Gray, for some reason, is currently, apart from a few academy youngsters, the only option to play in that right back position. I'll share Dave's sentiments with regard to Bergvall. I would have sooner just seen one of the men being played there, whether that's Bentancur or Fernandez. I know there were questions brought up regarding Fernandez's fitness, saying he could only play 45 minutes, which is fair enough. But I'd have sooner seen basically 45 minutes being given to Bentancur and 45 minutes being given to Fernandez than trying this weird double pivot experimentation with Bergvall, because I just don't think that's anything remotely close to his natural position. But the main pain point about yesterday's performance, for me, at least what I saw with my eyes, was the midfield. And I can't help but just think that was down to the sort of us trying that thing with Bergvall, and also Gallagher being played as sort of a number 10 in this kind of attacking context. I just think we needed to do it a bit differently with the midfield, and that was the main issue with yesterday. And
your take on the team and the subs?
Well, I have an issue with Bergvall being as a double pivot with Tonali. If you're going to play, I'd rather Gallagher be in the double pivot with Tonali and maybe move Bergvall, but as a number 10. But to be honest, I wouldn't have Bergvall at all on there. I thought it was a disgusting performance yesterday from him, and I don't want to hear Spurs fans say, "Oh, look, he's talented and stuff." I just don't think he's good enough. The players on the bench, we had Fernandez, Maddison and stuff. My opinion, if they're fit enough for the bench, they're fit enough to start. I'd rather have had them start the game, try to get into a 1 or 2-0 lead, and then if they're towards the end of the game, if they can't play the whole match, then take them off. Not have them on the bench. Then we're 2-0 down at half time, and then decide to bring a couple of players on, and we're chasing the game. And obviously with Gray as captain, I mean that's a bit of concern. I don't want to blame De Zerbi because I think he needs time and everything like this, and we haven't got a fit. It's not really our fit squad. There's still got a few players from last season, which is a bit concerning. But Gray as captain, he's too young, I think, to be captain. Just imagine a Tonali Gray telling Tonali what to do. I found that a bit strange, to be honest. But the front three I was expecting. But like you said, I'm not expecting this to be the front three next week, and I don't think it'll be the front three by the end of the window. I think Richarlison might still leave by the end of the window. Now we've got Ramush in. I think maybe we get a Gakpo. If we don't get a Gakpo, I think we'll go for someone else. And by the end of the window, I think our attack will look a lot better. And it is the first of the season, but it's only one game. I think the players do need time to gel. There's a lot of changes in the team. And I think as Spurs fans, we get carried away a bit, but it does need time to gel. And I think eventually, once they do gel, we'll start seeing the real Tottenham.
Ryan, I'll come to you on the first goal as well. I mean, like, we were on the back foot for the first, from the kickoff, basically. And like 12 minutes, 1-0, Sangara 1-2, Lewis Potter scores from close range. What was your take on this mess?
Well, what I will say is I'm going to have very little criticism for players, but there are definitely, and I know I'm going to come in for some flack. There's definitely some question. There are some things that I will now be watching with De Zerbi, and one of those things is what Anthony's talking about. It's one thing to be careful bringing players back. Like Bentancur, he's been on like a full week holiday. Do you know what I mean? It's time to get back to work, dude. Do you know what I mean? It's season started, mate. So this and that needs to be sorted out. If that's just a now thing, okay. If that becomes repeated throughout the season, then we're going to have a problem, and I will be talking about it. I believe the first goal was Mr. Bergvall. Was Mr. Bergvall getting? I've spoken about it. I speak about it so many times. I look at players. I don't say so and so is shit. Championship level. I hate all that. But what I do like doing is analysing players' strengths and weaknesses. What are they good at? What do they do well? What do they not do well? Bergvall, and he's been doing it for so long that I don't think he's going to grow out of it. Bergvall watches the ball, he gets attracted towards the ball, and he loses his man, and he does it all the time. I've been pointing before yesterday's game. I was pointing people back to Morgan Gibbs-White scoring against us at White Hart Lane last season when he did exactly the same thing. And now I've got another perfect example to point people to because he does it all the time. He needs to grow out of it if he can grow out of it, because you cannot be a midfielder, Adrian, if you're gonna lose the man that you're supposed to be tracking, especially on the edge of the penalty area. It completely destroyed any kind of defensive cohesion that we had. They ripped through us. That's where I am with that first goal. Yeah.
Si, your take on it? I mean, I know we're going to pick out individuals here, and fans do that when it's like, especially if it's a player they don't like in a phase of play, they're going to blame that particular player. But we were so bad yesterday. I'm just apportioning blame to everyone. I'm not going to pick out individuals, not Kingsky, not Richarlison, although So, in what phase of this play for this first goal did you think?
To be fair, Adrian, I agree with you. I mean, all of them were poor. To be honest, in my honest opinion, I don't think anyone, gave their all in that game. I agree with Rain, like with Bergvall and Richarlison. To be fair, the ball came to him, and then he couldn't control it. I mean, the whole game he couldn't hold it up, but he never has been able to. and then obviously Bergvall lost it. But the one thing that Ryan was mentioning, defensive cohesion. I mean, there was none of that in that whole game. You could blatantly see that defence was playing their first competitive game together. We were all over the shop, not just in defence, over the whole pitch, to be honest. But I mean, we could have conceded one easily before the 12th minute, and it was just so easy to open us up. Like you said, Bergvall was ball watching. Sangari went straight past him. Sangari could see the gap between Robertson and probably Senesi. There was 5 in the back line when Tonali had dropped back to help out. And there was still a massive gap. And the 1-2, I mean, it wasn't even difficult. It was easy to open us up. And then you're just hoping that he doesn't play a good ball in. Cut it back. Lewis Potter was there, anticipating it. And yeah, it didn't surprise me that we'd gone 1-0 down, because I thought we were poor straight from minute one. We were just really, really off it. Whether that's fitness or whatever, I mean, we can discuss that later, because obviously in his post-match interview, De Zerbi said he doesn't think the players are fit yet, which to me was a little worrying. I'm a massive De Zerbi fan, big supporter of his, but I mean, what was the whole point? I thought the whole point of pre-season is for players to get match fit. You know, so it is what it is. I mean, I'm personally, we'll go on later, but I'm not panicking. It's first game of the season. But for me, I just wanted to see a bit more heart and a bit more effort. And I didn't see that from any of the 11 on the pitch, in my opinion.
Dave, you can talk about this. Bring up the second goal in 33 minutes. 2-0. Richarlison fails to hold the ball. I don't think Spurs fans have got much patience with this guy. Jensen's far from the distance, but I think Bergvall, I think he tried to play the ball from the player's foot when he should have gone in with a smashing tackle, basically. Kinski parried it. Unfortunately, it was another simple goal, wasn't it? The tap in.
Yeah, it was. It was that goal was the one. Yeah. Because I think, was it Senesi played that beautiful distributed ball out to Richie, and he done the first bit right. He controlled it, but just hold your man off for a couple of seconds, just a bit of muscle, hold him off. Couldn't do it. He's managed to get a foot in, knocked it away, and that's what comes on to what Rains said. Do you know what I mean? Bergvall sees the ball there and he's just ran to it. The other defenders actually bullied Richie out the way and gone on to his tackle and made another one against Bergvall, and the rest is history, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So it just went wrong from that moment. It was then the build up to that, the last final part of that goal, right, was almost so easy. It looked like it was so slow. It was like watching an action replay, but in real time. It was just 1, 2, 3, cut across, bang. It was the easiest goal Brentford probably would have scored in the last probably couple of years. It was just too easy, and that was that, and that's just. And it's just, again, it's just another goal. Another goal, do you know what I mean? Conceded by individual errors. Do you know what I mean? And the second one that we were talking about here is, do you know what I mean? I'm a goalkeeper myself. Do you know what I mean? Shots like that are bread and butter for me. Do you know what I mean? As a goalkeeper, when it's come directly at you, there was none of this squiffing with the ball moving. It was just a dead straight, accurate shot, straight at his chest. You literally, all you do the last second, you put your hands up like that, bring your hands in, and you take the pressure off of it. It just drops down to the floor. Thank you very much. It's hit the palm bit of his hand there, gone straight to a player to tap into an empty net. It's an error on his fault, Kingsley's fault. But what I will say was, again, we're leaving players unmarked outside of the box in dangerous areas where they're getting free pop shots at our keepers. It's the same thing that happened last season, and it's carried on into this game. But I'm going to say I'm not going to go mental and dive too deep into it. It's the first game of the season. I'm not going to lose my head completely over it. But it was, to me, it was just like the bare basics of defending we couldn't get right yesterday, and it showed.
Andrew, I mean, the keeper should be pushing that ball away, right?
Yeah. That's
doing that, and also to add to that as well, the defenders. This is what I've been barking on about in other podcasts about pre-season. People say, "Oh, pre-season usually." No, what pre-season's about is sharpness between the ears as well. So as you make the right decisions on that football field, and like as a defender, so as you're sharp enough to spot danger. But we were just all over the show.
Exactly, and it's good you mentioned the defence there, because Dave's talking about his experience as a goalkeeper. I played defence. I played as a right back when I was on the field, and one of the things you're basically told from the get go is don't just look at the ball, look at the players around you. You know, look who's in a danger area. Look who's in a potential danger area when the ball is parried by the keeper, he's just there for a tap in. A lot of this ball watching that we saw last season, I noticed that happening again. And that is one thing that we really need to nip in the bud, because that's a fundamental problem with football. If you're just looking at where the ball is, you're not going to actually be able to cut out danger areas of the other players. And another thing is, you actually mentioned it when you brought up the message, is the lack of hold-up play. We couldn't really keep possession of the ball in the attacking third of Brentford. And for me, that was quite a big issue, actually, because I noticed that whenever we would lose the ball in that attacking third, it almost always ended up right down the other end and another chance for Brentford. And then basically the more chances you give away, probability says the more likely you're going to concede a goal. And then that was reflected in the scoreline. I was scared, actually. I was worried it was going to be more than just 3-0, basically, when I saw the way that we started the game. So these are the issues that I really, really hope that we fix. It's the ball watching that I've been seeing for too long now. And it's basically the ability to retain possession in the half of the opposition. And hopefully when we bring in these attackers and they can work together with Tonali and Fernandez when they're up to full speed, up to full fitness, hopefully this isn't an issue which we'll see addressed. But unfortunately yesterday we really didn't get a grip on that. So that sort of shows us what we need to get a grip on moving forward, basically.
And there was a lack of cohesion everywhere, and there was a lack of fight. When a game's going bad, at least if you put in fight, you get a chance to win the second balls. But even when balls just bounced around and it was like a 50-50 if we got it or they got it, they were winning them all.
For me, I agree with Ant. Sorry, I agree with Ant. I think it was all about the forward line. I think it was so bad that it just allowed Brentford to press us without having to worry about whether the ball was going to get through to our forward line, and whenever it did get through to our forward line, they just snuffed us out really, really quickly. I think it's very, very easy to go, midfield defence when actually there's nothing that they could have done with the ball. They couldn't actually get the ball out to the forward line. They weren't working hard enough. I don't think that I don't think Richarlison is good enough. He's good in the box. He's not good outside of the box. Mikey Moore isn't ready. He needs to be given game time to level up to be a Premier League player. And Tell, I don't know what happened with Tell. He got on the board occasionally, but
it is though.
I make Anthony right. There was no one to pass to.
The thing is though, sorry, Rain. So, Adrian, what you said about when they come out with when there's 50-50 and they always come out with the ball. I've noticed that with Spurs for years, that I watch a game and if there's a 50-50, a 60-40, Spurs never seem to come out with the ball.
We do not win those second balls. It's been a problem for ages, Anthony.
Yeah. And also what I noticed yesterday was Brentford just looked like a team that knew what they were doing. They were well drilled, well coached, and they looked like Barcelona yesterday. We look like a championship team the way
yeah, you're right, Anthony.
They,
That's something my dad's
they
always said at the gates. Is we always make the opposition somehow look like Barcelona. You know,
well, that's the thing. We also notice we always, if you want the crowd, the fans to get behind you to really go play Tottenham, because the crowd are up for it, the players are. There's just something about the club where everyone just seems to be up for it because they're playing Tottenham. Everyone wants to beat us.
Rain doesn't help when you reduce basically to a one-man midfield of Tonali, because Bergvall was all over the place. He shouldn't be in the midfield pivot. I've said it on so many podcasts. You play him up front, where if he loses the ball, it's not so much of a risk. But Tonali, I mean, I looked at it, although we can criticise every player in that team, whether Gray should be captain and all that, if you don't fix that midfield, you are not winning games of football.
And we didn't see the energy and work rate from Gallagher that I'm used to. You know, Gallagher, even when he's been played in that 10, has worked his socks off. He's been doing, you know, at the end of he came in last season, and he was the one making those runs so that somebody had an option to pass to. And you know, even Gallagher wasn't doing it yesterday. I am cautious because part of it, I'm absolutely certain, was the quality of Brentford, and we can't let go of the fact that Brentford are a very good team. This is the Premier League, yeah. This is we've gone through pre-season. It's been nice and easy, and now we hit the Premier League again. Do you know what? Premier League is hard, and Brentford are a very well drilled, very efficient team who've had very few changes. They all knew exactly what they needed to do yesterday, and we didn't at all. And again, coming back to what I said to start with, that's on De Zerbi, not on the players.
Yeah. Like Rain, I was to say about, was it you that said earlier that De Zerbi said that afterwards that we weren't prepared or something like that. Why weren't we prepared? We've had months.
We went. He said
even signing the players, the board are not prepared when they're not when they're signing players. Why are they waiting? I've given the board a lot of praise for the signings they have made, but why are we wait? Why do we always have to do it? We wait till the season started to then sign more players to improve us. Why can't, for once, we go into the season with all our signings, and then maybe on the deadline day or something, we then add an extra signing, but we'll get most of our business done before the season starts. This fucking board are just bloody. They're just so frustrating, aren't they? Just get it done.
He said in his post-match interview that he knew with that starting 11 that some of them weren't match fit and everything like that even before the game started. Which, like I said, to me worries you, because that's the whole reason of pre-season and pre-season friendlies is to build your match fitness up. But he said he knew some of them weren't match fit, like Tonali wasn't ready, and etc. So it's a little bit worrying that was the case that he said that.
We'll talk about it at the press conference afterwards. But look, to me, he gambled. De Zerbi gambled. He doesn't escape criticism for picking this team, right? He gambled. It failed. I mean, if we all looked at the team on paper prior to the game, we thought, yeah, they'd do a job, get us a draw or something like that. But we didn't know nothing about fitness issues or things like that as well. So, like, you know, so to me, De Zerbi has to take criticism. Commonly, he'll get it right, and I think he's learnt from that game as well. I think the trust factor in some players has dropped right now, Si, you know.
Well, he's learnt. Sorry, mate. He must have learnt, that Bergvall ain't good enough and Richarlison's got to go. He must have learnt that. If he hasn't, then he's an idiot, isn't he, really? Think about it. Surely he knows that Richarlison ain't good enough. Last season, I'd never thought in a million years for Charlotte would still be at the football club.
Mm.
And he still
So
is.
you don't, because he wants to keep Bergvall and he said he's 100% staying, you don't really appease a player who's not quite oven ready and just give him game time like that, right? To me, you don't do that. I think he got that wrong. Don't get me wrong, I like De Zerbi, but he got it. And maybe some people said it's a good thing we lost the game, it's a reality check. And all. No, it's not a good thing to lose games, but it is a reality check.
Yeah, I agree with that, Adrian. It's just to appease maybe Bergvall playing him, who knows, but playing him in the wrong position, as the guys have said as well, in the double pivot, it just doesn't work. I agree with what Ryan was saying. Let's not kid ourselves. We were against Brentford last season. They only lost 3 games at home all season. And they've made probably 2-3 changes, whereas nearly 50% of that starting 11 we put out are playing their first competitive game for Tottenham. It's not going to click. It's not going to gel straight away. But what you want to see is effort and drive and heart. And we didn't see that. And the 50-50s, I watched several times Van Hecker and Senesi, and you could see they weren't up for the fight. Like if you had, I know his left is gone, but if we had a Romero in there, he's going in full-blooded, whatever, at 50-50.
Yeah.
Probably might get sent off a few times.
He'll be up for the season.
He's up for that. He's not, but they looked like they just wanted to pull out every time Senesi and Van Hecker. I'm not getting in Brentford, a decent side. They only had 2 new starters, 2 new signings. Sangare was the man of the match, brilliant player. Let's not panic. I'm not panicking. We didn't get carried away at the start of last season when we beat Man City and Burnley. We didn't think we were going to challenge the top 4 or win the title then. So let's not panic after a first defeat. We were against a decent side.
I think it's absolutely right. That Brentford are a well-drilled side. As mentioned, they only lost 3 games at home last season. So you got to take that into consideration. It's the Premier League, probably one of, if not the most competitive league in the world. So I think the real concern isn't the fact that we lost per se; it's the way that we lost. Just that. Even if you can say that Brentford are this well-drilled team, which they are, that it's always going to be a difficult game, no matter which team you are. You'd hope that you'd at least see a few gloves laid on them, But the only real things that I remember us doing was when Brentford let their guard down for a second and we got it through to Mikey Moore, who squandered both those chances. I wanted to see just a bit more, a bit more desire to go forward. I remember there were a few times when Tell, I think he could have made a bit more of a sort of dash when he won the ball in a promising position. He actually slowed the game down a bit because he didn't run and he started just stopping and kind of looking around instead of just run, get the cross in, or run, get the pass, make the right pass. There was a lot of, for me, passing it backwards as well in the final third when we should have been passing it more forwards, and there were players in good positions. So it's just about the way that we lost that frustrates me more than anything, not the fact that we did lose.
Tell isn't good enough. Tell isn't good enough.
Let me come to Dave. We're playing away at Brentford. We had a great record against them. Now it's 5 wins, 4 draws, and 2 losses, and 11 times we played them. But we know they've done well in pre-season. Doesn't mean they're going to do well in their first game. But you're coming away, and like De Zerbi admits, we're undercooked, players aren't fit, and you don't stiffen that midfield. An away game, you could possibly play Bergvall on the pivot at home against a team that's with a low block, because he's not going to get pressed or the ball taken off him. But this, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, like, I know you're a better manager than this, De Zerbi, but you've got this completely wrong.
Yeah, he has got the lineup completely wrong. Like we're saying, moving back to Bergvall quickly, he can't play in a double pivot because he's for me, and for you, we've both said this yesterday as well, he's too high risk in dangerous areas. Do you know what I mean? Because he'll try a run, he'll lose the ball, then all of a sudden, bang, we've counted on, we've conceded a goal. Like you said, play him further up the field in that number 10 role because he can press. It's full of energy. Like, and what Ant said earlier, I said I would have rather switched him and Gallagher.
Yeah.
But then again, I get where De Zerbi was coming from, playing Gallagher in the number 10 because of his higher pressing ability. But there was none of that yesterday.
No.
And did you notice? I tell you one thing? What I did notice. I know we all ain't got nothing much to say about Richie. Did you see how off his body language was yesterday? I think he knows. I think he knows his time has come at Spurs, and I think he's probably already been told, this is your last game for us. We're going to accept a bid.
Dave,
I doubt that.
Can I just, for me, I totally agree with you. If he's as good a player as we think, he knows, Richarlison, that Marmoush is practically coming to this team. Right, and he should be going out there yesterday, proving to everyone, "Don't drop me. Look what I am. Look what." And you're right. He's as if he thought, "I'm just a stopgap for this one game. I'm not even going to put any effort in." And that was so disappointing to see because you wanted the opposite reaction and you just didn't get that from him.
Exactly, because normally he runs around he runs around for the team, doesn't he? He puts in an effort, he puts in a shift. I know he's not the best player in the world, but you can't normally fault the guy for his commitment. He presses everything till he can literally do no more. But there was nothing. I didn't see I probably saw
Dave, don't you think
that was it?
Don't you think when you thought Richarlison would be like someone else is coming in? I'm not letting him steal my place. I'm going to bloody fight for everything, try and score a couple of goals. But his attitude is, when Marmoush is coming in, I'm not going to bother trying. What's the point of me trying and stuff? Because I'm not going to play next week. So what's the point?
The point is he puts himself in the shop window if he plays well, doesn't he?
Exactly. Everton surely might look at him now thinking, do we really want to sign him? But knowing Everton, they probably still will.
Okay, I'm going to come to Rain. 34 minutes, Gallagher, yellow card. 46 minutes, we see the first substitutes. And I was calling for him in the first half, actually, because once I see the midfield collapse, you should managers are very reluctant to make subs for players' confidence in the first half, right? But, these two, they should have come on much earlier as far as I'm concerned. And then Rain, 49 minutes, game over. If it wasn't at 2-0. Sangaro shoots, Kinski saves, and another simple tackle.
I mean, how many managers do make? Let's give De Zerbi some credit that he actually made those subs at half time. The number of managers who just wait until the 60th minute to, by clockwork. And don't even get me started on I'm not going to make a substitution until the 80th minute, Thomas Frank, right? That's of anything that drove me mad with Frank, that he never made subs until the 80th minute.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely, drove me absolutely potty. All of the other stuff that people, went into, I wasn't really on board with. That really made me mad. So De Zerbi actually, he was proactive because it sends a statement, doesn't it? It sends a statement in your first game if you start subbing players in the first half, Adrian. But I get where you're coming from. They were the right subs, but unfortunately, even before the second half started, they were didn't really matter. And as you said, Kinski parries out into the penalty area rather than around his post, tap in, and then at 3-0, Brentford were just in management mode. And we were looking at some of the stats yesterday. At half time, the possession stats were 50-50. And by the end of the second half, the full-time stats were, I think it was 59% possession.
60-40.
I've got all the stats. I will bring them up after we've.
But the point. What my point was. My point is, Brentford went into, we're just going to manage the game. You know, where we can score a lot more, but actually 3-0's fine. And they just went into game management, you know, into conservation mode. So the game was lost by that point. You know, these players, they weren't going to rescue it for us, especially when De Zerbi didn't have anything up top. I mean, I'm sure we're going to get into substitutions, but the reality is not getting forwards into this squad, the much needed forwards into this squad, effectively wrote off this game for Tottenham Hotspur Football Club.
Sai, 53 minutes. Moore gets the first of his 3 chances during the game from the Robertson cross. What do you think? He snatched it? Bit of nerves? I mean, you must have watched this kid play 60 to 100 games of football, right?
I mean, every chance he had at that back post when he got the ball, he just side-footed it. I just a couple of times I just wanted him to put his foot through it, man. Don't bury it. They were easy saves for the keeper. I mean, those were the only chances we had. But like Rain was saying, I think that they come more from Brentford taking their foot off the gas a little bit and sitting back. And then, you know, just we're 3-0 ahead, you know, what have you got sort of thing, and we'll hit you on the break. So I think that's where they sort of come from. But, yeah, I mean, Moore, he needed to score one of those few chances he had. It was poor. Just going back to the third goal that we can see. Well, I'll go back to the second, actually, because Dave was saying this. I honestly think Kinski should have, the second goal, I think he should have held the ball. I don't think the way he parried out the second one, I thought was very weak goalkeeping. Third one, understandably, because it was a good shot, but you saw it was a set piece that they worked on the training ground, Brentford, because they took it to the back post. Sangari was like on the edge of the D, unmarked, nodded it back to him, and the shot, obviously, Kinski saved it and put it out. But a little bit later on, they did exactly the same thing. Back post header, but this time, he hit it over. So they knew, and this is something that was last season as well, from corners, for some reason, there's always an opposition player or something that is totally unmarked near the edge of our penalty box. Whether or not that's something, in my opinion, De Zerbi needs to look at. Because obviously Brentford worked on that and it worked a treat. But,
Dave, it was very noticeable we were getting done on the back post, and you can comment on that. And this was a Bentancur push in the back. I've seen them given, not given, but their blushes were spared. Thiago missed. I think he got 8 last year, 8 penalties out of his 20 goals.
Just glad the first one he missed was against us, because at 4-0, I think I'm ready to turn the telly off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or put my phone through it. Either way, but no, it was. We're 3-0 down anyway. Then that happens. I'm thinking, oh my god, when you think things can't get any worse, we get a penalty given it. And do you know what? To be fair, in today's world, that's a penalty. Still a little bit soft. Do you know what I mean? But he gave the referee no choice. Gave him no choice. Yeah. Leaning away for him, then just that little last second, just to make it even easier for the ref to make that decision. Glad he missed it, because it just it spared her blushes, didn't it? But
yeah.
Andrew,
are we allowed to say that Bentancur is involved in far too many of those?
You say what you want, mate.
I know that. Well, yeah, and I will, Dave. The only reason I say that is because the last one I remember was Newcastle, and I actually feel it's a bit unfair to say that Bentancur was involved.
That one for me,
he was the one in the headlock.
Yeah, exactly. He was the one in the headlock.
He was the one who was in the headlock. But he does. Even I'm just going to put it out there. He throws his body about, right? So like Dave said, he threw his body at the guy, and the ref is going. I saw people going, "Oh, it's not a pen." It was 100% a penalty. The referee is always going to give a penalty for that. Yeah, maybe not for us, but I would always expect a referee to give a penalty for that kind of behaviour. And Bentancur does it. He does it outside of the box as well, but then he goes and does it inside of the box. He throws his body around.
He does it a lot.
And can we also say that the referee was crap? Matt Oliver's crap. Can we say that as well? Carry on.
Andrew, 62 minutes, more breaks into the box, shoots, Keller saves.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen him get a load of stick. Not for this. It was more an instinctive goalkeeper. Good save. Like probably blind sight, see the ball and just managed to get to it. I thought it was unlucky not to score his 3 chances.
He was unlucky for this particular shot, but I just can't. I see it that way. He's a young kid. Sometimes you've got to give the young kids time, sort of ease in and start banging them in left, right, and centre. But I also just can't see it any other way that our only chances of the game were the ones that came to him, and he should have scored at least one. For me, at least one of those should have gone in the back of the net, because you can say he's young, you can say he's a kid, but when you're on that stage, when you're on the football pitch, the pitch doesn't really care how old you are. The game doesn't care how old you are. You're a part of the match. You're an important part of the match. And when you do get these kinds of chances, you really got to put at least one of them in. So I was disappointed that he didn't score one of them. And
the first one he tried to put it through the goalkeeper's legs. That either works and looks good, or it looks awful. So it looked worse,
Exactly.
And you can put that down to youth. Well, he won't be. He'll be going on loan, so he's not staying.
Yeah, we'll see that. But anyway, it's almost midnight here, and I have work tomorrow, so I'm gonna jump off.
Thanks for coming on, Andrew. We'll get you back in the future.
Yeah.
We'll all the guys here,
Thank you.
We're not fit you all in.
Take care, Andrew. Big up, mate.
See you in a bit.
Anthony, 68 minutes, more subs. Madison for more. Yeah. Solanke for Richarlison. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. We all find these a bit strange, these 86-minute ones. Why are you bringing a player on? If you're trying to close a game down and just break up play because you're under pressure, I get it. But we're under pressure all this game anyway. Yeah. I mean, I think this is just a question of giving you Doggy some minutes, and he didn't break down. Yeah. So it was a few minutes, and because there was 5 extras, wasn't there? Yeah. And then 90 plus 5 full time. I'm going to stay with you because I've banged on in podcasts about I'm old school. I'm an eye test merchant, as you guys know, right? I'm also a very positive Spurs fan. I'm glass 2/3 full, right? As Rain will know. So these were the stats, right? Now, if I'd watched the game on telly, and what screws you and gets your mind going when things are going that bad, you get that brain fog anyway. You don't really see things clearly, right? I mean, look at this. Stats. They had 41% possession, so they had 59, right? Shots on target 8-4. But they had 26 shots to our 9. Blocked 7 from them, 2 for us. Duels. I didn't think we won that many duels. Corners 7-3, fair enough. Tackles. Clearances 16 for them, 23 for us. Yes. Passes. They had 354 to our 523. Crosses. They had 21 to our 14. Fouls 17-14. What do you make of these stats? This is why it's not an exact science. It's not an exact science.
Just shows that they were much better than us, and we were poor in the possession stats and stuff. You can have all the possession in the world. I see the best possession is the possession going forward, attacking. You can have all this possession in the world, but if you're having possession in your own half, you're not doing anything with it. It doesn't really matter how much possession you have. But with all the stats, it just shows that they were up for it. We weren't up for it. we underestimated Brentford. They just looked more up for the fight. We just looked like a bunch of hairdressers, really. It was just like a bunch of 11 players on the pitch. Not really know what we were doing. Looked unfit. Brentford looked really fit. And yeah, we just didn't. It just didn't look like we were prepared at all. And you know what? We've seen Brentford the last couple of years, and us fans know what we're going to get from Brentford. Why are you laughing?
No, the motorbike in the background.
We know what we're going to get from Brentford, and us fans, and it's like we weren't prepared for it at all, and that is the disappointing thing, really. That us fans can see it, and no one else can. The players obviously weren't prepared for it. Yeah, so it is disappointing. But at the end of the day, we have to move on and go on to the next game, and hopefully better next week.
Ryan, give us your take on this, and then I'm going to stick with you for the next question.
I think these stats have been padded by the second half. I'm just gonna go and have a look myself. So in the first half, we had no shots on target. They had 3. They had 11 shots total. We had 3. The percentage. The possession was 50-50. We had 228 passes. Sorry, they had 228 passes to our 245. So you can see, right? You know, I don't need to do the maths for you because a lot of those were very 50-50 apart from shots on target. You can see that in the second half, that's what tells the story. Brentford just went, right, okay, we're just going to control the game. We no longer need to press high. So that allowed us to stat pad in the second half, because if you look at this, it looks like it was a 50-50 game, and it wasn't. They rolled over us in the first half, and the second half they went, okay, that's it. We'll just let you do what you want to do.
Right, and to carry on with you, this probably got everyone going, what? I mean, the Zerbi press conference, Tonali, Van Heck not fit, Bentancur not ready to start a game. That had me shaking my head, after this result.
Absolutely shocking. This is like what I said. This is what I said on my stream yesterday. You had 2 differences here in the team. One team was fully prepped pre-season. The other one wasn't, and it showed massively yesterday. Our players were gassed out at half-time, and I'll move on to half-time body language. You saw them all walking off the pitch. Their heads are like that. Their heads are down. Some of them are standing there, blowing their hands on their hips. You know what I mean? They're not ready. They are, like you said, they are undercooked. And who do you blame for that? Who do you blame for that? Because I get it. Senesi back very late from the World Cup because obviously he was in the Argentina squad. They were in the final. Van Hecker, what? They got knocked out in the last 16? Or was it it was the last 16 they got knocked out. So he's had plenty of time.
So Dave, how does Senesi play yesterday?
Yeah,
right, exactly. But Bentancur, when they got knocked out in the group phase, and he's been on a 4-week holiday, can't play yesterday. Can't start.
Didn't it come out a few weeks ago that he asked for extra time off? He's asked for personal reasons, and the same with Pat Matsar as well. Both asked. I find that very weird.
Sarr, I think one of them was his grandmother died or something.
No, that was
Kudus.
Sorry. Yeah.
Can I just say,
yes, you can, because I was coming to you next anyway.
Yeah, what you've got there about the not fit. Obviously, that press conference on the Tottenham Hotspur site, or the interview after, he admitted that. For me, Senesi and Van Hecker, they did play at the World Cup, didn't they? Senesi probably only played 1 game, I think.
Yeah.
But Tonali not being fit, he wasn't even at the World Cup. I mean, what's going on there? He was playing in the pre-season friendly games. So, I mean, I don't get it. Do you know what I mean? I don't understand why they weren't fit, unless they're carrying little nickels or something like that. But, yeah, it wasn't. It was a bit of a shock for him to come out with that. And there you go. And he starts with
Yeah. I want you all to have your say on this. I mean, Ant, what did you think of this? I was just aghast, basically.
Yeah, I know. End of the day, if they're not fit, why are you playing them? I don't really get it. Yeah, some of the stuff he said, like that they weren't ready for the game, and I'm like, really? You've had all this time to prepare for the game, and you're coming out. At the end of the day, if the team aren't ready, then don't say they're not ready in the press conference. Because straight away, the fans will be like, "Well, what the hell? What the hell is that all about?" and stuff. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's like it's a bit strange. They've had all this pre-season, they've had all these games, and they're not even ready for the season. The whole club's not ready for the season. From the board to the manager to the players, no one is prepared, and it happens year after year. The same thing, and that's why we tend to start off slow. I know we started fast last year, but then it sort of faded away. But we tend to start off slow because no one is ready. We've not even got the players in we needed. We've had there's a few of the players are still not fit, and I thought they would be fit by now. And yeah, even the new players, they looked off it. Yeah, we're just never prepared for a season, are we?
Ryan, I'm going to criticise Zerbi over this, because out of the subs, we know Davies was fit, Williams Barnett was fit, and you could say Dancer was fit. Yeah, they weren't picked.
Luke Williams Barnett was on the bench.
Yeah, but he was fit. Dancer was fit, and so was Davies.
Adrian, you're not seriously saying that we need to hang our hat on Luke Williams Barnett, though, are you? Surely.
No, but you wouldn't under any normal circumstances. But if he's saying that other players are unfit and these players are fit, well, that makes a difference if you pick them. But it's just my point on it. I mean, you can disagree.
Well, I'm stunned that you're saying that he should have picked Luca Williams Barnett in the starting 11. If I'm honest,
I think he should have beefed up the midfield, even if we only had two up top. I just think you're away to Brentford. You beef that midfield up because you know we're not ready.
Actually, sorry. And actually, this is something that I'm very concerned about with Zerbi. Is, are we going to get? Again, I'm just very wary that I'm going to get attacked. Are we going to get Ange 2.0, which is, I have one way of playing and we're going to play that way. That's it. When yesterday, I'm getting a lot of background noise from somebody, by the way. I don't know who it is. When what yesterday was crying out for was a three midfield, of Gallagher, Bentancur, and Tonali, or Fernandez in that second half. Again, I don't know why Fernandez didn't start. Right, a strong three, not a 10, and two 10s. Bring Tell and Moore inside. Because they were getting no joy on the width. They were getting no joy wide, and it was just playing into Brentford's hands. And I am concerned, and I will be always watching, whether De Zerbi is going to be flexible in games, or whether he's just going to this is the way we play. This is the way we play. This is the way we play. Because we've seen it in the Premier League. If you just go, this is the way we play, then the teams who are playing against you just go, no, you're not. And we're going to make sure that you can't play that way. So
Yeah.
it definitely needs to be this cannot be persistent.
Well, I
Sorry,
think Rain, I think when he was at Brighton, I think he did have a different way at Brighton. I don't think it was just gun ho all the time. They were, defensively pretty sound as far as I'm aware, and they had a system they stuck to. But I can't remember it being completely gun ho the whole time.
I'm not saying that it was gun. I'm not saying it was gun ho. I'm just saying it's one way of playing. It's a double pivot. It's a 10, 2 wide players. It's good to have patterns of play, but if they're predictable, then opposing teams will combat them. That's just what they'll do. And maybe they're more likely to combat Tottenham playing predictable patterns of play than they ever were under De Zerbi, going to combat Brighton patterns of play.
Don't he play 3 at the back as well? He does. It's what I'm hearing. I've not seen it.
Look, we've had all this will he play 3 at the back, 2 at the back? What we've seen 2 centre backs trying to lure players on, so our players running at space to receive the ball. We've seen 3, and both times we've seen them halfway in our own half to do that, right? And the 2 fullbacks just push up alongside the midfield pivot, basically. That's what I've seen, right? So when people say, will he play a back 3 or whatever, or 2, look, it's a 4-2-3-1, which is not rigid, but we do drop into a back 2 and back 3. I don't get all the talk about, why aren't we playing a back 3? I don't get that, because he's always played 4-2-3-1. Anyway, before I come to Sky, and we move on to transfers, which is like a little bit excited. I want to, I want to go through the chat, right? Because we do respect the chat, and we love your comments and questions. And then if they've got anything to raise, which I haven't been through the chat, right? Then obviously you guys can jump in at your leisure.
Just while you're looking at that, I just say I think after yesterday and seeing that the team and the squad need a lot of time to gel, even though we want to be in Europe, it is a big blessing, I think, this season that we're not. So De Zerbi has got time to work with that team.
One game a week. He'll have time on the training field.
We need it. If we were in Europe this season again, and we had this mass, of new players coming to the team, I think it would take. Obviously, it would take a lot longer to gel. So it is good. No Europe this season. Hopefully, we can get that jelly. He can get this team into place pretty quickly and stuff.
Okay, going through the chat now. Brian, big up, mate. I know Brian in real life. Don't live miles from me. Then we've got Simon as well. Big up, Simon. Sean, who's a regular guest on the Friday show. Big up, Sean, up there in Glasgow. Tom, yeah, good to see you on amazing panel. Of course, Sean. What do you expect from Spurs Diehards, right? So you got welcome to Tottenham Marmouche. Yeah, we're going to get into that. Big up, guys. Ryan, I simply follow you from show to show. Great knowledge, very intelligent guy. Don't praise him up too much, right? 1 year ago, Thomas Frank he was awful. Let's not even think about Thomas Frank. He's on Match of the Day now. It shows you what he is. But big up Spurs, Scotty, man. Yeah. I've said Jules 20s go, so we've got Shardy on 10k a week, guys. Yeah, well, he's not coming to Spurs, mate. Yeah, we're blessed in a position to get them in. Yeah. When you think that we had 2 17th-place finishes and we've got the players we've got in our best ever transfer window, and we don't want another one like it, otherwise it means we're back in the mire. I think in future you might see 1 or 2 coming in January or the summer, because this is the opportunity we've got to spend money, the 85% plus the 30 extra, because of the transition from financial fair play to squad cost ratio. Right, this is why we still to let Lancashire go. And yeah, I want to. You guys know me. I'm a big fan of the academy, right? But
it's not that. Sorry, Adrian. It's not that simple. Though it's not just this
it's not.
One season, because obviously the amortization rolls into future seasons.
Yeah.
So whatever we spend and we amortize,
But
and we have the amortization hit
stands
this
now,
season.
right? And
Then-
you're an
then-
accountant, so I'm not going to get in the ring with you. But I mean, we're talking Spurs can spend, because that 115% of their revenue. They've gone to Macquarie in Australia and borrowed money on the strength of revenue and TV revenue of next season. Now we can do that, but the following season we won't be able to do that. And if we're in Europe, it's 70% the maximum you can spend. Right? 70%.
Right. Okay.
We need
So
we need to borrow money now. If we need to borrow money now to strengthen the squad as much as we can, because we can't do it next year, I'm all for it, right? But
Right.
come back.
So-
You're the accountant.
Okay, so borrowing the money now, all they're doing is they're financing cash flow. That's all they're doing. All they're doing is they're taking a 6% hit on the known revenue, and they're going, right, we're going to take that money now because we're going to spend it in the summer transfer window. To be honest, they don't really need to do that. They've got cash. They could just do it using their own cash. But this is every company I work for does factoring
When we get into
on their own invoices.
Right,
But
what we don't
the
know,
other
Ray-
point.
Right,
But wait a minute. The other point, the 85%. Yes, we can spend 85% on our squad cost ratio this year, but assuming we go into Europe next year, every deal we do this summer impacts next year's squad cost ratio as well, because it's all about amortization of the transfer cost. So,
Well,
so
I think what has happened for this loan with Macquarie is the fact some of the deals we've done, like with West Ham, with Newcastle, they've wanted, and we know these deals are amortised over the length of contract, whether it's 5 years, whatever it's max. You can pay them up.
it's 5 years.
5 years, right? But I think Newcastle and West Ham have wanted large down payments, and I think that's affected us cash-wise. Now, I don't know that for certain, but this is why I'm thinking, what we're going to Macquarie to borrow money. Why? I mean, like,
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's a red herring. It really doesn't matter. It's just accountants moving money around. What's really important is how much money we're spending now and how that will impact next season if we're in European competition. Because if we spend, let's say we spend 100 million this year, because then it's a nice round number, right? Spend 100 million this year. Our amortization hit is, 1/5 of that, and that's a percentage to our revenue for our squad cost ratio. But we still take exactly the same hit next season because the amortization carries over, because the amortization is a hit every year, right, for the 5 years. So if you spend 100 million this year, then yes, you're only doing, you're only doing against 85% of your revenue, because that's what the Premier League rules are. But next year,
Adrian, I've got to go. Sorry, I've got to go.
Right.
Thanks for
see you later,
having
Anthony.
me.
But next year, the same amount will be against 75% of your revenue. Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
I need to do a PowerPoint.
It confuses a lot of people. I tend to go with Kieran Maguire over others out there because, like, basically he lectures on football finance at Liverpool University, and he's the man to go to. Like, we've had him on the show actually before, and we may get him back. We'll see. Peter Kakagis in Australia. He's a paramedic. Does a wonderful job out there. Yeah, Peter, thanks very much. We don't usually ask people to become members on this club or whatever, in this channel. But thanks for your support. It helps. It helps a lot. And with like the 80 of you viewers on various platforms, you can see the subscribe button in the bottom right-hand corner. Look, it only takes a second to click that link, give the video a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel, right? So if you can do that, it really helps the algorithm. On that, I'm going to put the banners up of these new guys. We've got new shows going. I mean, like, you've got Scotland Therapy's just gone, Anthony's just gone, right? So get over there. And Dave's here with Spurs syndrome. So get over to Dave as well, yeah, okay. And those of you, big up to those of you watchers on playback. Get over to these channels as well, right? They're upcoming podcasters, and they're doing okay, right? They're doing okay. So back to the Gunners. We're gonna do transfers and predicted lineup for Charlton because that'd be interesting. Latest transfer news. Now, me and Rain have having a bit of banter over Savino, so I'm going to start with him on this one, right? This is a done deal, Rain. You happy or not?
Well,
Yes, no, it's going to get announced tomorrow.
Yeah,
If not,
exactly. Let's be clear. It's not a done deal. Yeah, this has been the bone of contention. Is the certainty with which I've been told for the last seven or 8 weeks that this deal will be done for 8 weeks, and I'm the type of person who I don't think it's done until it's done, and it still isn't done.
What is done for you? What is done for you? Because it has been announced.
Pochettino putting his arm around the player's shoulder. That's a done thing. It has not been announced. It's been Romano'd. It's been Romano'd. No. But obviously it does look like it's getting done. I still don't think he's a needle mover. Okay. I think he's a body up top.
I think he'll offer us more up front than what we've got at the moment.
We're in desperate need. We're in desperate need of bodies, of depth. We're playing Mikey Moore for crying out loud up top at the moment. But I still don't think that Savino is a needle mover in terms of the quality of our squad. Happy to prove him wrong.
I mean, to me, he's a definite upgrade, Si.
Yeah, I agree with you, Adrian. Yeah, I think he's also a player that we need, especially in our home games. He'll get the crowd, excited a little bit when he's on the ball with the tricks. And you remember back in the day when Aaron Lennon would get the ball, all the crowd, as soon as he got the ball, there'd all be a bit of the atmosphere would go up. And I'd like to think that's going to be the same with Savino, with his tricks and that. And I think a run of games is better than what we've got at the moment. So I'm more than prepared to see him, give him time and let him prove to us the player he is. Because I think it'll do all right for us. I really do.
Dave, my only concern with Savino is technically superb, right? His lack of goals. That's my only concern. But he's still an upgrade for what we've got and the situation we're in.
Yeah, agreed. I think I rate him, even though stats will tell you he's no better than Matisse Tell. On the eye, he's more pleasing. Yeah. I find that they're different though. My argument with Savino is, right, every time he's featured, I'll say featured because he doesn't get much game time at City. You look at how many appearances he's made on the stats blogger, he'll say he's had so many amounts of appearances, but how many of them are full 90 minutes? Only 8 of them are full 90-minute performances. The rest are cameo appearances, late substitutions and stuff like that. So you can kind of throw the output bit out a little bit of that and give him the benefit of the doubt. I think he is a player that thrives on space. When he's playing for Manchester City, he's playing in a team that is facing a low block every game. And with us, teams come to us to give us a game of football. He's going to pick. He will find space and he will pick. He will pick those gaps up and he will run into them. When you've got players like Tonali and Fernandes spraying balls out to him, he's going to have a field day with that. I watched exactly the same thing with Girona. He thrives on space. Didn't get that at City. It's very hard. All he was doing for City was dropping his shoulder, flick it out to his left foot, put a cross in. Hopefully Haaland or someone or Co can get on the end of it. that's all he could really pull off. So, but I think at Spurs, I think he's going to have more time on the ball.
I'm going to come to you, Ryan, just a second. I see you biting to come in, but
he's ready to come at me. I can see he's like a lion, Rain, like a lion, ready to pounce.
He's a passionate fan. He's always
there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. End of the day, do you know what I mean? What good would these podcasts be if we all had the same?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm being nice and respectful. I'm desperate to bite. I'm desperate.
What want to ask you, Rain?
Desperate to bite. Can I bite? Can I bite?
Yeah, of course you can bite. But what I want to ask you as well, apart from your bite, is what I've seen of Savinho in the pre-season is not where I wanted to see him play. He's been playing on the right, and he played well against Milan, I think it was, right? He played good against them, right? But he's playing on the right. I mean, I've been on record of saying I want him on the left because if you've got the fit you doggy on the left, they get down there, they'll stretch the width of the pitch in the final third, and we'll get curling crosses away from the goalkeeper. Whereas all we've seen is inverted fullbacks cutting in, trying to get a shot off or chip the ball to the far post for players to run onto. So where do you see him playing, Ray?
I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about. I've got two problems.
Go on.
Right, I've got two problems.
Go on.
The first, I've actually got three problems.
Okay.
The first is I don't think that he doesn't regularly play 90 minutes thing, which I've heard so many people say. I don't think it's the slam dunk sorry, Dave, I don't think it's a slam dunk that people think it is. What I hear is that this player that we're signing is not regularly playing 90 minutes of football. That's what I'm hearing, right? And people say, oh, so therefore you can't sort of judge his output. Well, actually, one, I can judge his output, especially if he's coming on as a sub, because generally as a sub you get a higher percentage of output than a player who plays in the first 45 minutes, right? So that's the first thing. You know, theoretically, his per 90 should be way higher if he's got loads of sub appearances. But secondly, is there a reason he's not playing 90 minutes regularly for Man City? Is he not capable of playing 90 minutes? And none of us know the answer to this. I'm not going to accept anybody telling me that they know the answer. But what we do know is he doesn't play 90 minutes.
What we do know, though,
Man City. Actually, one second, Adrian. And actually, what we need players to be. Mikey Moore played 90 minutes, right? We need players to be playing 90 minutes, especially players who we're spending 80 million quid on. I do have a problem with his output, but more than that, I think a lot of people are looking at looking at Savinho and the way that he plays, and what they're not doing is thinking, how is that going to translate into a Tottenham team where we saw yesterday players weren't working hard enough? Is Savinho going to work hard? Is he gonna put in the legwork to get on the ball, to run down the ball? Do you know what I saw yesterday? I saw Sade running down the ball constantly battling for that ball with Archie Gray. He bullied Archie Gray, right? I don't think Savinho is going to do that. I think Savinho is a player who, yes, likes to do the fancy things on the ball. But do you know what? You need to get on the ball to do that. And you're not going to get that. You're going to have to work hard to get on the ball at Tottenham Hotspur. And yesterday showed that. So I've got three problems there. And I don't think people who are Savinho sort of are really, really excited about him are really balancing out their view. They're not looking at some of these potential negatives. It's a scales thing, right? There's positives and there's negatives. And for me, there's far too many negatives with Savinho still.
Okay. Well, valid points. They're valid points, right? But what I will say to that is that with Pep, every season when he's got new players in, he's always tweaked things at City. He's been successful, won 7 titles and all that. So then he brings in Semenyo, he brings in Doku, and then even a player I love, Phil Foden, doesn't get no game time. So even Ryan Cherky comes in as a new signing. So Savino's pushed down the pecking order, not because he's not a quality player, because Pep's decided to go a different way, in my opinion. I mean, like, he's even got a Monga there, right? I mean, like, so to me, he's gone for dynamic wingers in Semenyo and Doku over Savino. Okay, fine, but you've got a quality squad. You pick what you want, you know. And so that's my counter argument too. I'm not rebutting what you say. You make valid points, but let's.
So Semenyo started, made 37 appearances in the Premier League last season, and started 37 of them, and played an average of 86 minutes per game.
Right, fine, yeah.
Right. So that's. I hear what you're saying about Pep Guardiola, but that's what happened with Semenyo. So and what we're saying about Savino is, and you know what? It doesn't matter actually. It really doesn't matter what Pep did with Savino. What matters is how is Savino going to translate into a Tottenham team? And if Savino is going to come into a Tottenham team, and what he's been practicing doing at Manchester City is playing 46 minutes, 50 minutes, then trust me, that's what he's going to be capable of doing, at least in the first 6 months at Tottenham Hotspur. So, I don't think people are really waking up to that.
Right, okay. So I'm going to come to you. I mean, we've talked about Savino to death, basically, like it's a worn-out piece of chewing gum now, right? You know, and so me and Rain will respectfully disagree with what we may or may not bring to this football club, right? So one of us will be right and wrong, but if I'm right, I'm not going to rub anybody's face in the dirt because it's not what I do. I'll just leave it out there, right? This guy, this deal was agreed today. Was on the bench, didn't play a day when they won with a late goal, Man City against Bournemouth. Deal agreed. Initial, we don't know what the fee is. That's not been mentioned. 50 mil conditional buyer clause. Medical Monday, right? So he's coming. Do you like Mamouche? Sign?
Another player I'm excited about. Yeah, hasn't had much of a look in at City, has he really, since I signed him? But let's be honest, you're not going to when you got Haaland up front, are you? He's always going to be second fiddle. But I remember when he's at Frankfurt,
with Ekitati, I can't say his name. Ekitati.
The old Egyptian we used to have back in the day. Nido. He was bigging up like anything he was when he was at Frankfurt. He even got in touch with Levy at the time to try and get across to him. You want to get him at Spurs, but then obviously Man City jumped in. So once again, he's better than we've got at the moment. I honestly think it's going to take time to gel, but he's an exciting player, and I'm not going to say he's the answer and everything like that, but he's an upgrade on what we've got at the moment. And the strikers market is, in my opinion, this summer is not a massive. There's not a lot of quality out there that is ready to leave their clubs. So I think he's one of the best we could have got, to be fair.
Dave, Thomas Frank wouldn't be a fan because he scores from outside the box, mate.
Exactly. No, I remember watching him for Eintracht Frankfurt, and I was just randomly watching the game, and he had a free kick about 35 yards out. And I'm like, he ain't going for this, surely. No, he can't go for this. He puts his foot straight through it, right in the top corner. And I was like, wow, what a player. He's got, as I said, that's another attribute he's got in his locker. He's a dead ball specialist. He can link up the play. He's got clever movement. He can play literally across the whole front line, even drop into a number 10 as well.
Yeah, he tends to play on the left or through the middle, though.
Yeah, I know, yeah. It's more like a false 9, isn't he? False 9 normally his strongest asset. I'm happy. I'm happy that we've got this deal done, and I think it's quite smart that we've got it in a loan deal as well. To be fair, I think it's very, very smart business.
Yeah, I like loan supply.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Enables us more money to get another quality player in, really.
Yes.
This summer,
Yes.
doesn't it?
Yeah, agreed. So, but who is that quality player?
Well, we'll
That's-
come on to that.
Yeah,
We'll come on to that. Rain, are you a fan of Mamush?
I love Mamush. I love
Good.
Mamush. I'm a big fan. But
Come on, let's have it. Let's have it. Let's have it.
you ready? Are you ready? Quick quiz for the panel. Let's see who can get the answer first. Dave might know it because I might have posted it in our WhatsApp group.
I might have missed it, mate. If there's quizzes and stuff.
Okay, here we go. Then you won't. Who was the last player who Tottenham Hotspur signed who had a stellar season at Frankfurt and then had a couple of bad seasons before coming to a couple of rocky seasons before coming to Spurs? And he was a striker. Shall I go?
Klinsmann?
Nope. Randall, Colo.
Yeah.
I forgot
Oh,
it
he
was
smashed it at Frankfurt. That's why he got the move to
He
Chelsea.
was amazing at Frankfurt,
Yeah.
right? And all of us when he came to us were like, oh, you know, so again, I'm just going to say, I hope we get the Marmouche. I hope we get the Frankfurt Marmouche. Because we certainly didn't get the Frankfurt.
I think the difference, right, at Man City, obviously, he hasn't had a consistent run of games, has he? Whereas at Frankfurt, he did. So you hope with us, that consistent run of games, we will see that Marmouche from Frankfurt.
Again, sorry, I'm sorry. When I hear that, and like that's like something that's commonly put out amongst football fans. And when I hear that, I do not feel comforted. When I hear that, I hear loads and loads and loads of problems. That's what I hear. I don't think, it's going to be okay. I think, why wasn't he playing at Man City? Has it impacted him? Is he no longer that player? Has it emotionally, has it impacted him emotionally? Has it impacted his, his quality? Because we know that, if you don't play week in, week out, yes, you do lose a bit, right? You do.
That's natural.
So when I'm not criticizing you because it is something that's regularly said among Spurs fans, among football fans in general. But when I hear it, I don't feel comforted. I'm honest.
Right. Sorry.
I mean, to me, I thought it was a shock he went to Man City in the first place because you're not going to get a look in front of Haaland anyhow. Do you know what I mean? So for me,
Pep was never going to play two.
Was the wrong decision on his behalf to go there. So
that's money, though. It was.
He comes to us and he's got something to prove now, and prove that he is the player that Dave saw score that 35-yard free kick. He's got to prove it to the Premier League now, and this is his opportunity. So let's just hope he can do it, to be fair.
I think
go on, Dave. Go on.
So I was just going to say, I think 295 grand a week, what City offered him, played a massive part in that as well, to be fair. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
All right. I'll come to you after Sai again, and then we'll come back to Rain. Gakpo, we know the terms are being agreed with the player. If he comes, we'll have a Dutch mafia of 4 players at the club that are Dutch, right? Liverpool want a replacement before a deal can be made. We've got 8 days left in the window. I don't think there's much chance of brinkmanship now. Clubs posturing over this, that, and the other. Yes, no on fees and stuff like that. I think now is the time you get deals done. And if we've got an option on other players that I don't know we're in for, but other wingers I think that I know we're in for, but I'm not going to say so. Then if they get Barcola and that deal's agreed, I think this deal gets done quickly. What do you think, Sire?
Yeah, potentially, I agree. I think it's all on if Liverpool can get that like Barcola in, or is it who's the other guy?
Ibrahim, the other one, the young winger as well.
MBA or something.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
But if they don't get them in, I don't think this transfer happens whatsoever.
Which is why, sire, we need an answer of Liverpool within, say, tomorrow or Tuesday at the latest. So we then go bang in for our other options, right? Because with a winger, don't get me wrong, he's got better stats than Savinho and Marmoush. Right?
But if that, obviously the Champions League is an issue, but if they don't get Barcola, and because it's a known fact that he wants to leave, why don't we try and go and get him? I know the European football is an issue. We can't offer that.
It's just Liverpool have got that pedigree, haven't they? We haven't got the pedigree they've got, or Man United have got.
Well, we've got an exciting project you'd like to think going on at this club now, with the money we spent this summer. It'll be worth a shake, because if Liverpool don't get him, he wants to leave. You know what I mean? So,
Dave, before I come to Rain, we've been linked with Mudryk at Chelsea. Please no. Go on, but what are you saying? What are you saying? I mean, we were linked with Neto at Chelsea. Yes. Mudryk, no. That's my opinion on that, right? But what's your take on the Gatco thing? And then I'll come to Rain on it.
I'm confident we're going to get the deal done. I think I'm confident. I'm very confident Liverpool have got will get Barcola. That deal is pretty much 90% there. It's just the final minuscule details. And like I said, like you said, we're just waiting for Liverpool to give us the go ahead. I probably even think they've even agreed on a fee. They've just asked us to say, can you just hold off a minute? Let us get our guy in. As soon as we've got the go ahead from PSG, we'll give you the go ahead for Gakpo. I think it's already been put in place.
You could be potentially right there, because if PSG know that they've got this money coming in for Gakpo, they might push up the price for their players when they say, you could be potentially all done and dusted practically.
Rain on the price, though. Rain on the price. I mean, like, whatever it is, right? He's 27, whatever it is, right? I mean, we've got a little bit more leverage where Liverpool can't take the piss on this deal, because we've got 2 players in. So we can look elsewhere at last knock-ins, whoever's on that list. I mean, I know that we were looking at Nusa and Shoulder. We were looking at the 2 Norwegian wingers, but those stories haven't gained gravitas over these days. And we've been pretty quiet over when fans were going on like about, why haven't we walked for Savino? It's taking so long. Well, now we know we were doing a double deal. That was why. And my question was, in answer to Rain and all that, who made good points on the issue with Savino, was like, well, why are we still in for him if we don't think we're going to get him? But Rain, on this, I mean, do you think this deal gets done? Do you like him?
I think Liverpool would be mad to let Gakpo go.
Fair enough.
I think they'd be bonkers to let Gakpo go. I think he's fantastic. He's exactly forget Savinho. He's exactly the type of player we should be going and getting. He's a GA machine.
Yeah,
he is, and that's exactly what we need. We need low risk, high, medium output, preferably high, but I'll take medium output players. And Gakpo absolutely is 100% in that category, where Savinho is not. So I would absolutely love it if we got this deal done. And I think Liverpool will be mad to let him go. I just can't understand why they'd do it. Even if they went and got Barco, I just don't understand why they'd let a player like Gakpo go. I just don't get it.
Well, he wasn't first choice there, was he?
He's played loads of games. Wait a minute.
Yeah, I know he's played loads of games, but like their fans were saying, he's not really he's not really an out-and-out winger. He doesn't really take players on. He takes up excellent positions, though. He gets in goal-scoring, positions to score. I mean, yeah. But
he played 36 games in the Premier League last season, started 32.
Oh, he started 32. Okay, fair enough.
Feels pretty much first team to me. Average is 77 minutes per game. So, you know, he's a machine. He's absolute. He's an absolute
Had a
beast.
decent World Cup as well.
Yeah, so I just don't. I mean, and let's face it, Liverpool fans are comparing him to Mo Salah. They might even be. They might even. They are. Of course they are.
I don't like
And they might
comparison.
even. And they might be. Well, yeah, and they might be comparing him to Diaz as well, who was a different type of player. There is absolutely no doubt. I mean, how many goals did he get last season? So he got 7 in.
He's got about
7
1 GO, which is excellent over his
Yeah,
career.
he got 7 in the Premier League last season. Oh, I can see why though. Maybe we're a little bit annoyed. Got 7 in the Premier League and 5 assists. And the season before, he got 10 and 4 from roughly the same amount of games. He's going to get you 10 to 15 GA.
Yeah,
without doubt.
Right, we'll move on to this guy, Sire.
I need to head off.
Fair enough. You've got to go. All right, fair enough. But thanks for coming on. We'll get you back next Sunday.
Take care, Ryan.
Right,
See you soon.
Sire. 2 conflicting reports out there in social media. One that is furious that Spurs want to put him on a transfer list, and the other one is like he wants to leave because he's not going to get the game time. So there's been interest from Galatasaray, Brentford, Aston Villa, and Al Ahly in the. He's gone, isn't he? We need to.
I think so, Adrian. I had heard, like you were just saying there, I'd heard that he'd been told that Spurs have basically listed him, and he got rid of all Tottenham-related content on his Instagram account or anything. I mean, I never went to follow it up and have a look if that's true, but that's what I'd heard. But yeah, I mean, you know, we signed a few midfielders in the summer, haven't we? So out of all of them, the way I looked, it was him that was going to leave as a definite. Because I think he's the one that De Zerbi looks at as, if you want to put it in these sort of terms, the weakest of those central midfielders we've got. He's had his opportunities. At one stage, he was looking like a fantastic prospect. Still think there is a lot of potential there, but he's had his time. He just hasn't done it with us. So I think it's right he moves on. Could be one, who knows, in the future we will regret. Because when he first joined us, it reminded me a bit like of a young, if you wanted, sort of Yaya Toure. Energy, everything, man. And I was like, I had high hopes for him. But I think it's right he moves on. To be fair, Adrian.
He's under the radar now, Dave, with Spurs fans, isn't he? I mean, like, we've got bigger fish to fry, haven't we?
Yeah, absolutely. He's this is just my opinion of Pat Matsar. I think he hasn't progressed. He's regressed, in my opinion. But again, that's not all his fault, because the amount of manager changes we've had in his tenure at the club. So he's having to adapt to new philosophies, new tactics. So it's not all his fault. But yeah, he right time to cash in on him. I think he's got 2 years left on his deal, isn't he? 2, maybe 3. So yeah, I think we could probably, but from what I'm hearing, we have put him on the transfer market, which then now puts the ball in the court for the teams trying to buy him off of us, because they can pip us for a lower fee. They can lowball us. That's the risk we take.
Unless we get these, unless we get an auction, right? I mean, I'd prefer him to go to a Premier League club simply because we're getting more money for him, right?
I personally think he's going Galatasaray. That's
Spurs wanted 25 million euros. If that's true, I think that's cheap in today's market. The way the inflation's gone, that'd probably be about 20 mil. He is more than a 20 million pound player, but they've offered 18. They've offered 18. So there's only 7 difference, which is nothing.
Abroad, isn't it?
Yeah.
If he goes abroad, you're not going to get a lot for him, to be honest.
No. I'm going to go through the chat, and then we're going to talk about Charlton, especially after the debacle of yesterday, right? So, right, as we get it. Where are we? Comments come up. Why don't they come up? Right, okay. Okay, right. Comments. Scroll back. If there's any questions here you guys want to answer, that's fair enough. Always good chat. I've always seen top panels too. Thank you, Sonny. We appreciate that. With that, with the 90 odd of you viewing us on various platforms, you can see that subscribe button bottom right corner. Please hit it. Subscribe to the channel. It helps the algorithm, helps Spurs Diets to bring you good content for free, right? So, and just subscribe to the channel as well. That helps us, okay? So, Sonny, same here. Yeah. Well, look, the two players we're bringing in, as far as I'm concerned, are upgrades. They're not elite. If we want elite players, we've got to get Champions League football.
Yeah, I agree with that, right?
Yeah.
I think this is the basis of the squad, and then, like you said earlier, in next summer it'll be one or two top draw players.
Or January, same.
Yeah, well, January is always that tough market, isn't it? But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if January we maybe got a right back in.
Yeah,
because obviously the issue is going ahead with
we've got
Archie Gray as second choice.
I've gone on it to death, so we're not going to carry it tonight. I mean, I've gone out on Dave's channel and all that about the foreign quota issue as well and homegrown. You know, 7 homegrown. So we're not going to discuss that again. But that is an issue as well. That's why when I get fans go off, yeah, get this guy, get this. Hang about, they're all foreign players. We can't just keep getting foreign players in. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Well, I posted a video on Marmouche on the WhatsApp channel and the Spurs Dies WhatsApp channel today, and in a Facebook group where we've got, believe it or not, 14,600 or something. In the XCOM group, we got about 4,700. Yeah. Shame we can't get them all over on here. But people, they you know, they're set in their ways on what social media they want to use, which is fair enough. Right, okay. Yeah, Rain's very knowledgeable, as are these two as well. You know.
Yeah, Rain. Yeah, I keep like drumming in his ear. Start your own channel, mate. Start your own channel. I think you'll do really well. I think you'll do well.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's your family life as well, isn't it? So,
oh God, yeah.
I mean, I'm retired, so I'm just an obsessed Spurs fan, as everyone knows, right? I can never get enough of Spurs, and like what I will always do. I mean, I'm not into bombers and things like that. As soon as I find a bit of information, I will not hide it and keep it to myself. I'll put it out there, same as I will do videos and stuff, right? So I've done that, right? Okay, yeah. I can see Marmouche playing through the middle. I could also see him playing behind Solanke, but we'll see. And as much as I'd like Savina to play on the left, I could see him playing on the right with even Mamouche on the left at times. I mean, like, there are so many permutations. When we do the predicted lineup, guys, I'm quietly confident I'll get them wrong as usual, right? Okay, can see. I get that, but just because he scored today, I don't think that makes any difference.
Nah.
It's a question of the balance of the Liverpool squad, whether they want him. If they're paying all that money for Barcola, he starts. Like we're paying all that money for Savina and Mamouche, they start.
Yeah.
They start most games, right? I don't see that. And then if they get Barcola in, Gakpo knows he's not going to get the same game time, right? Yeah. So he wants to come to us to join the other 3 Dutch players. So, it was no denying that. Yeah, we're not getting him. He's another foreign player. If we're bringing a foreign player, it's Gakpo, unless it's a real top class. There are lots of wingers out there. Lots of wingers. So
let me ask you two gents a question. It's just an observation. Obviously, you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone with this transfer. But then if you take a chance on Marcus Rashford, I think with my opinion with him, right, I think he just needs a bit of love. And he ain't getting it at United. He
played for them, though, didn't he, in the loss?
He came on as a substitute yesterday, didn't he? And I think...
I'd love to see us at games at the stadium, yeah.
I think he solves part of the problem with the squad with the homegrown issue.
Yeah.
So the one bird killed with one stone.
He wins the league with Barcelona, and then for a 30-40 million pound transfer fee, if they don't want him. So obviously it's his wages, because they're trying to cut their wage bill down at Barcelona, as most clubs are now.
That's what makes me think. I mean, it'd be a player I'd definitely be interested in taking, but I mean, like he did well when he was at Barcelona last season on loan.
Yeah.
And you just think, why didn't they take him up? And they went for Gordon in the end. And then obviously Villa wanted him after his loan there. But is it the wages, or is it more that sometimes I always think his head's not fully set on football? Do you know what I mean? Sometimes with him, I think, but who knows? But if we had the opportunity, I'd get him. But it's the wages is a big issue, isn't it?
Okay, let's finish with this. We've got Charlton Wednesday. I'm going to the game. I only live a mile and a half from the ground, so I'm lucky. I'm a lucky Spurs fan. Tickets are reasonably cheap. I mean, for the Hoffenheim game, because tickets were 20 quid with the fee on top, 22 quid, and Junior's was a fiver, we had 54,340 at the stadium, which was like mental for a friendly. Most clubs would love that as a home crowd if their stadiums were big enough to hold it. You know what I mean? So we're playing Charlton. I mean, guys, let's have a little bit of fun with the predicted lineup, because I think Savino, I was told he was signed already. It's just a question when the club want to announce it and put the video out and all that. Marmoush medical tomorrow, what I'm hearing. So they would have their work permits by then and be readily available for Charlton, right? So, and the fact that De Zerbi said we've got players that aren't quite fit, I think this is an ideal opportunity. Well, okay, you were crap. Now go out and again, get your fitness levels up and give you this game. What do you think, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one, because Charlton could be potentially a slippery banana, couldn't they, for us?
They beat West Ham 2-1 away.
Exactly. And do you know what I mean? All right, West Ham dominated possession and stuff like that, but they were so resilient. And those you don't want in these stages. You don't want teams like Charlton that throw, like, they're going to treat this as a cup final, and they're going to throw everything at us, even at a kitchen sink. Any given moment, any opportunity, they'll pounce on it like a lion on its prey, and this could become a big. So we can't do another season where we go out early in the cup. We cannot do it. I know we've been unfortunate. Last year we had Villa, wasn't it? We had Villa, wasn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Liverpool in the FA Cup, didn't we? Got knocked out, I think.
Yeah. So I think we've got to start taking this a little bit seriously. I wouldn't start every single
big up, Jess.
We've got.
Big up.
I wouldn't start everyone. It's hard because, but I just can't see him for, even if they are cleared to play, Marmoush and Savino. I don't think they play. I think they'll either
on the bench.
Be on the bench, definitely, potentially. Maybe not so Marmoush, but I think that Savino definitely would be on the bench. I think he's going to go with Dubravka. I think Dubravka will get his minutes, personally. Yeah, I think he will. I think Udogie will play left back. It's going to be Gray again. No, we've got no choice in that.
Well, Porro could start.
Can he, though? Would you risk him?
Well, I don't think he's. Someone said he was injured earlier. I haven't heard that. And I think he's back from the World Cup, right? So he would have his fitness levels from the World Cup. All right, you need your rest as well. But I think against Charlton, it shouldn't be.
I think he'll. I agree with Dave. I think Porro
save him for Newcastle.
For the Newcastle game. Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. No, it doesn't. It makes. I think same with VDV. I would have thought we'd keep the two centre backs. They've just got to, work their way into fitness and game time. And if they aren't fit, then just play them. It is the League Cup. I don't want to dismiss it. I want to go for it like you guys do. I want any trophy we can ever win, right? But you got to throw them back into the fray again, as far as I'm concerned.
I think, the defence pretty much picks itself, in my opinion. I think he'll rest Robbo and start Udogie to give him some minutes, some match experience, match fitness. Midfield, I think he's going to go with. Actually think he's going to start James Maddison this one.
I agree.
I think he's going to start him. I think he really is going to. Do you know what I mean? And I absolutely worship the ground that bloke walks on. I love James Maddison. I think when he's playing well, I find Spurs generally win because he just when he's tuned in and he's zoned in, he finds them passes and he does chip in and nip in with a goal or two as well.
Dave, do you think I believe he just gets us as a football club and a fan base.
He does.
For me, he's taken on that pedestal where you had Harry Kane, then Harry Kane left, Son, then Son left, and the big, the main one who understands the club, and now it's James Maddison, in my opinion.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. Midfield's a difficult one. Don't think Bergvall is starting. I personally think he might even go with Bentancur. He'll go with Bentancur, and I still think he'll throw Tonali in just to give him more minutes.
Not Tonali and Fernand. Chris Peters makes a point here. Good friend of the show, Chris. And I'll meet up with him at games. Do you think he might go Tonali and Fernandez now?
Yeah, I see what I mean. It's hard, isn't it? Because we're
getting options now. That's great. It's great to have options.
It's a beautiful headache. It's a beautiful headache for De Zerbi, isn't it? He's got a pick of in that midfield. He's got Bergvall, Tonali, Fernandez, Gallagher, still Sarr. I don't know where he is, but he's still available to play. Do you know what I mean? He's got 5-6 players at his disposal there. But I really hope he sticks with Maddison a 10, and I still think he's going to go with Dom up top, with still potentially Tell, but I don't know. I don't know if Moore will be though. I think Moore's going to be gone.
Yeah, he'll go Cologne.
Once we sign them two, he'll be gone to Cologne or whatever it is, won't he? Yeah.
It's the reason why I think one of them has to start this game. Because if you play Tell on the left, then we know Savinho can play on the left and right, and he's been playing on the right in pre-season. So, Marmoush, I mean, I only think he starts if Maddison doesn't start. But what do you guys think?
I agree with Dave.
Front three. Who's your 10? Who's your front three?
I think I'm not going to say 100% because that'll be like
we don't know. Well, it's just fun. We only pick these for fun, right?
I 90% believe that Maddison will start in the number 10. He's he third choice captain or something as well. It potentially makes sense. I think the one thing is though, for once we haven't got to make a lot of changes. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be surprised if there's only 2, 3, maybe maximum 4 changes from that team that started against Brentford. Because realistically, we're only playing, one game a week. Obviously, this game's coming, the Carabao Cup game. But it's not like we've got, a bucket load of games coming one after the other. It's one game a week after this. So I think it could only be like 4 changes maximum. And I still think, Dave, you were mentioning Dubravka. Yeah. I think he might keep with Kinski in this game.
Yeah. Potential. Would any of you two take anyone who watches my show? I'm a massive fan of Luca Williams-Barnett. He was on the bench the other day. He didn't feature. Do you think he might potentially?
Yeah.
If we're winning comfortably in the second half, he might get 20 minutes.
Yeah. I'd like to see him have some minutes because I watch a lot. I've watched a lot.
He's only 17,
Yeah, I've watched a lot of him
as well.
Right, and I think we can both agree, Adrian. under 21s, under 18s, it's just too easy for him. He looks like prime Ronaldinho in that of players he's mixing. He just looks levels and levels and levels above all of them, even the older lot. Do you know what I mean? The actual 21-year-olds or 20-year-olds, he looks light years ahead of them. It's too easy. So this, I think I would keep him in and around the squad this year. And if there's games where we're, like you say, like we're 2-3-0 up, bring him on for the last 15, 20 minutes. Do you know what I mean? Just give him some of that. It's already big for him being on the bench on the match day squad. Do you know what I mean? It's already massive for him. I think if you're 2-3-0 up, give him 15, 20 minutes. Do you know what I mean?
I think the selection of Charlton all depends on he'll be looking to the Newcastle game to get points on the board.
Yeah.
And I definitely think that Savinho and Marmoush at worst will be on the bench. But I think you bring one of them in instead of more. One of them starts instead of more.
For the Charlton game.
Yeah.
Yeah, potential.
And then more can go as well. Because both those players can play on the left anyway, right? Whether Mamouche plays through the middle or not, both can play on the left. And Savinho can play on the right. So you could start with Savinho on the right and Tell could still play on the left, right? So you bring these players in, the permutations increase. It's difficult to select an 11, right? Unless players are in real hot form, but you need to know that, after like 6 games or so. Yeah. Yeah. So
with what Dave was saying about Luca Williams-Barnett, I'd heard that he's going to be around the first team squad, between the first team squad and the 21s, I think, most of the season. But I agree that hopefully especially against Charlton, I'll be surprised if he's not still on the bench. And I'd like to see him get some minutes, but I think going forward, when all our players are fit, I can't really see him making the bench, to be honest. So I think he'll still be down with the 21s quite a bit, and occasionally maybe coming on the bench in the cup games and coming off the bench then. I don't know what you think about that, Dave.
Yeah, I'm all for it, because at the end of the day, we need to. I've seen enough of him to say he is a special little he's a special talent. I actually think he's got a higher ceiling than Mikey Moore. That's just my opinion. That's just my personal opinion of him.
I don't, because I've seen Mikey Moore play so many more games than I've on it. And I think Mikey Moore is levels above him at the moment. And he's done it in Scotland, where Lucas Williams-Barnett hasn't, So we need to see more. It's easy to get excited. I've seen him chip the goal from halfway line, Lucas Williams-Barnett. What he does at that level is fantastic, right? But as a 10...
Am I right in saying that he can't go out on loan yet, can he?
No, he's 17.
Still under 18.
He's 18 in October, isn't he? He's 18 in October.
He could go on loan in January.
Yeah.
And I think that's exactly...
That, to me, would be a good sort of grounding for him.
And clubs would bite their hand off to take him.
League One, League Two, maybe. Just your first start in men's football. Just go out there, try and make a name for yourself, lad.
Last question. We've got 100 of you viewing us on various platforms. You can see the subscribe button in the bottom right corner. Please smash it. This comes to you free. Don't be lazy. Only takes you seconds. And give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, because it helps. And I will promise you will always get good content and good guests on Spurs Diehards, right? So do you see, we're going to field a strong side against Charlton because the squad's been upgraded, right? Do you see De Zerbi also tactically using it to give games to Maddison, Marmoush or Savinho, a half each, to see how they do, and then think, right, you're starting against Newcastle?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
100%. Yeah. I think Maddison is a dead cert.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm with that. 100%. I think Maddison will be starting 100%. Even when he come on yesterday, I think he offered a lot more than any of the three midfielders had in the first half, didn't they? You know, like he'll leave it all out on the pitch for us as a football club owner.
Sonny, yeah, I mean, what I see is there's 3 or 4 could go. I mean, you're looking at Richie, you're looking at Sarr, you're looking at Bentancur even, and you're looking at Bergvall. Even though
I don't think Bergvall or Bentancur will go.
Yeah, if not, well, then we're okay because we got 2 injured players that won't be in the registration, Xavi Simons and Wilson Odobert. But then we're going to have that foreign quota issue in January, you know. So it's all about registration. I'm not going to go over that again right now. Yeah, it's been a great show, guys. I thank the debutantes and all my guests for coming on. You know who you are, right? So I thank you all. I want to thank everyone in the chat for their comments and questions. I want to thank everyone who's watching this, like over 100 of you on various platforms. Hate to leave you when we get these numbers, right? But, you know, these guys have got work in the morning, right? Whatever. So, yeah, big up to everyone who watches on playback as well. You can find us in the banner below, the rotating banner. You can find us on Facebook. We have a massive amount of members on Facebook. XCOM's pretty good, 4,700, you know. And we've got the YouTube channels, and we've got a WhatsApp group. If any of you want to come on our shows, all I need is your phone number so I can add you to the group. And if you just want to be added to the group that don't want to come on a show, just let us know as well. We'll add you to the group. It's a very good group, as these guys will testify to. It might get a little bit prickly when we lose a game, but they're very respectful in our group. And I left all the toxic groups I was in. I'm not listening to this shit, right? So, yeah. So, and I will sort that channel out with Harry Scarf and James the Drinker. If it gets toxic, people will be like told, you know, just tone it down or leave the group, you know. So, yeah. With that, any final thoughts, Si?
No, just looking forward to it. Just the main thing for everyone really is let's not get carried away with what happened yesterday. We've got a long season ahead. We didn't get carried away last year, as I said earlier, after 2 wins. We didn't think we were going to go and win the Premier League. So let's not panic after that result yesterday. I'd be more worried if I was a Man United fan losing away to a newly promoted Hull side who had
or Villa
injuries. So, you know what I mean? We played
It's not fair. It's not fair.
Yeah. I think, you know, we need to take all the cup games seriously this year as well, because we're not in Europe. So I'm still pretty confident, and I'm still fully behind De Zerbi. And I think we've got the best manager for us, possibly, who understands us as a fan base and a football club. So.
Any final thoughts, Dave?
I think it's been, my opinion, a 9 out of 10 window. If we get Kakpo, that's the icing on the cake. That's the 10, the perfect 10. Do you know what I mean? Give us, right, yesterday's game, it can happen to any team. We've had a lot of new players come in. Our team wasn't prepped properly in pre-season because of circumstances. Some of them are still unfit, come back from long-term injuries. Some of them are at the World Cup. It was poor. I did feel a bit sorry for our governor. Do you know what I mean? Because his hands were, to a degree, tied to what he could do. He was restricted. But we won't be, I guarantee you, in 6 weeks' time, we won't be having this conversation when the windows close. All these new boys are in. He's got extra time on the training ground, drilling it into him, how he wants them to play, where he wants them to play. I think in 5-6 weeks' time, we're going to look a lot more different and a lot more pleasing on the eye.
Yeah, I've posted links to my guest shows, right? So get over there and subscribe and give their videos a thumbs up. Just going to go through the last few comments. Okay. So hide that. Thanks, guys.
Just a quick one
We'll
as well.
get you
Nice
back.
to meet you, Dave. It's
Yeah.
nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too. Thank you very much, mate. Pleasure.
And, we'll get you back. We'll get Ant back. We'll get Andrew back. Obviously, you know, with guests, and as when you're sort of like a busy show, guests are sort of for Fridays because that's an American audience. So Sundays it's going to be, we will rotate, but we'll get all the guys we've had on back. You know, as long as you're mature and sensible, you're welcome on Spurs Diehards. And we don't care if you agree or disagree with me. It's not important. Like, I like to hear fans' different opinions anyway, right? Because it also gives me something to think about and challenges my thinking as well. So with that, we've been going over 2 hours, 100 of you and watching us on various platforms. Hate to leave you guys. Thank you for your support. Like I say, if you can hit the subscribe button and give the video a thumbs up, it really helps the content. It really helps the channel. And I'll keep bringing you out good content. And I will always bring you good, well-informed guests. And with that, I'll play you out with one of my 30 pieces of music.
We are Tottenham till we die. We are Tottenham till we die. Spurs die, hearts, heart and soul. We are Tottenham till we die. We are Tottenham till we die. Spurs die, hearts, heart and soul. We are Tottenham till we die. We are Tottenham till we die. Spurs die, hearts, heart and soul. Lily white and navy blue. We are Tottenham till we die. We are Tottenham till we die. Spurs die, hearts, heart and soul. Lily white and navy blue. We are Tottenham till we die. We are Tottenham till we die. Spurs die, hearts, heart and soul. Lily white and navy blue. Navy blue.